Fluidity on Huhang Railway. Episode 1. Take the train from Shanghai to Hangzhou. Leave your country and go into the land I will show you. I will bless you. Before bed that night, she followed her Bible reading schedule and turned to Genesis chapter 12. The three verbs, leave, go, and give, struck her in the first two verses. It was like a sudden flash of light in darkness, like a beam shining on the path, giving her hope for the future. Her late father, a pastor, had always warned her to be careful about her attitude, whether alone or with others. Attitude can build up or destroy, especially when reading the Bible. The attitude when reading the Bible is more important than the text itself. Different people receive insight from reading the Bible. Her father urged her to read the Bible with an inquiring heart, listening ears, and a humble spirit, praying while she reads. Following her father's instructions, she gained confidence that the Lord Jesus, through the scriptures, was guiding her on the path ahead. The next morning, she rose early, packed her luggage, and took a taxi straight to Shanghai railway station. It was late August. Shanghai, currently Asia's most prosperous metropolis, lies at the confluence of the Huangpu River and the Yangtze River. The train from Shanghai to Hangzhou docked at the South Railway Station platform, would depart at 10 a.m. In order to defend against the Japanese pirates, Shanghai was surrounded by a wall with 6 city gates and 4 water gates. In 1553, during the Jiajing reign of the Ming Dynasty, the walls mowed the Huangpu River and the inner Jingbang River all converged. Like the 2 rivers of the Garden of Eden, the Tigris and Euphrates, the Huangpu River and the Yangtze River nourish Shanghai, known to Westerners as a paradise for adventurers. However, the walls alone could not deter the Japanese from their yearning for Shanghai. The Japanese living there had found a sense of home, finding it more comfortable there than in Tokyo. That day, the Shanghai South Railway Station wasn't overcrowded with passengers. Several Japanese ronin, dressed in kimonos and with swords slung at their waists, were on the platform, bowing farewell to their farewell guests. Half an hour before departure, a young woman in a short-sleeved azure silk cheongsam sauntered onto the platform. Her steps were steady and agile, her posture graceful and elegant, reminiscent of an athlete. She carried a brown leather suitcase in her left hand, a small black leather handbag slung over her right shoulder, and in her right hand a newly purchased copy of the English weekly Miller's Review. As she entered the second-class carriage, she saw several Japanese ronin sitting near the door. She hurried inside. Finding a vacant seat in the middle, she moved to a window seat, where the Japanese ronin facing the door. Put her luggage away. She sat down, wiped the sweat from her face with a handkerchief, and took a small mirror from her handbag. She combed her hair here in the mirror, only to catch a glimpse of one of the Ronies staring at her. She calmly put the mirror away, leaned back in her seat, and opened the English Weekly. She read an article about how, 2 weeks earlier, the venues of the 11th Summer Olympics in Berlin, Germany, were filled with Nazi insignia. The swastika, a 45-degree clockwise symbol intertwined, resembling two S. The double S emblem on the flags held high by the German civilians, and on the neatly trimmed uniforms of German officers, twisted like a viper. The article hadn't initially disturbed her, but the more she read, the more uncomfortable she felt. As she interpreted the article, the German salute, a substitute of a military salute, reminds everyone that 5 months ago, Nazi German troops entered the Rhineland demilitarized zone. A year earlier, Germany had expanded its military, rebuilt its navy and air force, developed armed forces, and built a large number of submarines. These actions had long since rendered the Treaty of Versailles a dead letter. The prelude to war was beginning, and the dream of peace was drawing to a close. The smile of war, emanating from Berlin, carried by the Pacific air current, was drifting to the Far East. After reading the article, she felt uneasy and didn't want to read any other news. She put the weekly magazine into her suitcase and retrieved the French novel Les Miserables, which she had borrowed from a friend. A pale pink bookmark was placed on the page she had last read. The woman reading the French novel looked to be in her early 20s. The azure blue of her chanson evoked a soft, clear sky. The slanting lapel was decorated with a pair of sapphire blue oval-silk buttons. The collar, cuff, slit, and ankle-length hem was trimmed with dark blue satin piping. She had a healthy, fair complexion and an oval face. Her brown hair, parted to the side and neatly shimmering, fell straight to her shoulders. Her eyebrows were straight, and her eyes were not big but bright. Her high nose gave her features a sculpted quality, revealing a quiet beauty. If you did not look closely, you would not notice the slight rouge or lipstick on her face. As the train started moving, she sat by the window, absorbed in a French novel. Suddenly, a sturdy, medium-sized young officer carrying a black suitcase approached and spoke in Mandarin with a Shanghainese accent, pointing to the seat next to her. "Excuse me, miss," he said, gesturing in Mandarin. "Excuse me, may I sit here?" The woman turned, glanced at him, and replied softly, "Of course." The officer put her luggage away and sat down next to her. He was drawn to the book she was holding, thinking, "What a coincidence! This is the same book I just gave someone." Then his gaze shifted from the book to the woman. He saw her, slightly taller than most girls, slender and delicate, yet radiating vitality and the aurora of wisdom. She was very comfortable for his eyes, and made him feel very close. When she looked at him, he saw a quiet and beautiful garden in her clear and shining eyes. He looked at her. Her demeanor was serene, and her manners were generous, and her voice was soft. The blue of her cheongshan was his favorite color. He felt that her beauty was natural and pure, a beauty that could not be achieved with makeup. Her temperament, expression, clothes, the book in her hand, the quietness and the concentration when he lowered her head to read, prompted him to understand her. He felt that the things in the world were incredible. On the train, he met a woman who was reading a French novel, and the book she was reading was the same one he gave to someone. He felt that she had a magnetic field that attracted him. He firmly believed that the difference between people lies not in appearance, but in the soul, and the difference between a good woman and a bad woman lies in the heart and temperament. He wanted to get to know her, and the thought made his heart beat faster. He took a few seconds to calm himself, then spoke in Parisian French. "Mademoiselle, avez-vous déjà vu le film Les Misérables?" She was stunned by the Parisian French he uttered, and looked at his face, tanned from so much sun. "Pas encore," she replied, while wondering. "He's a soldier." "And he speaks Parisian French?" She pondered his background, while responding in French. "J'ai vraiment aimé lire ce livre, et j'ai fini le lire le mois dernier," he said. "Pourriez-vous parler chinois?" she asked. "Of course. Chinese is my mother tongue," he said, a playful look in his eyes. "Is this book yours? Or you borrowed it?" he asked. "Borrowed," she replied. "I have a copy exactly like this one, and I gave it to a friend," he said. "What's your friend's last name?" she asked. "His last name is Lin, the Lin of 2 trees. His given name is Haowen. Hao for the magnanimous spirit, and N for the profound and righteous grace," he replied. "Was this book originally yours?" "I borrowed it from my middle school classmate, Lin Mu'en," she said. "After I finished reading it, I lent it to my good friend Lin Haoen, and it was then taken by his sister," he said. "The universe is vast, but the world is small. I just returned home, met a friend, and borrowed a book, and this book actually came from him." She sighed inwardly, lowering her head and remaining silent. "Miss, please allow me to introduce myself." His words interrupted her thoughts. She smiled and gestured for him to continue. "My name is Xu Yongdao, Xu as middle-aged lady Xu, Yong as an unchanging, and Dao as an eloquent. I am very happy to meet you through books. May I ask your name, miss?" he asked. My name is Xu. My name is Yan Baohui. Yan is Yan Zhenqing mingled with Liu Gongquan style. Bao as in a rare treasures, and Hui as in neither arrogant nor overly kind. Thank you for your book. She also used his style to introduce himself. He thought to himself, she and I have a deep connection. The book she reads is actually mine, from the words she uses. Yan Jin Liu Gu, rare treasures. Neither barbaric nor benevolent. I know that she and I are both extraordinary and otherworldly. He thought to himself, she and I have a deep connection. The book she reads is actually mine, from the words she uses. Yan Jin Liu Gu, rare treasures, neither barbaric nor benevolent. I know that we are both extraordinary. In Chinese calligraphy, I admire Yan Jin Liu Gu the most. I also like rare treasures, and being neither barbaric nor benevolent is exactly how I conduct myself. The name of myth perfectly captures my characteristics, he said. This officer, who speaks French, understands calligraphy, and can even compliment women. She thought, what does Miss Yan like to read in novels? He said. Inspiration for thought, exploring the true meaning of life, she replied. What don't you like to read in novels? He asked. Long descriptions of scenery, she replied. Why? He asked. That's all for today. Thank you, everyone.